And then I just have to do the Facebook streaming part. It says we're going live, starting. And we're live. Amazing. Okay, our next session is here and we are live on Facebook, live on Zoom. If anyone wants to join us on Zoom that's watching from Facebook, please don't hesitate in the guide section. If you find Jessica's guide, which I think is guide 7 at this point, the Zoom link is in there. So come join us. There's no password or anything. Just come on in and I'll let you in. Jessica's going to be leading us through some really cool stuff today, and I am so excited. Jess has been a long time client and friend of mine, and I am so grateful that we started working together earlier again this year because of what was born from that connection. And I can't wait to hear your story, to hear everything that you're up to, and to share that with the world. So I'm going to go away. And everyone who's live with us here, enjoy. And everyone who's in Facebook, enjoy. And if you're watching the replay, enjoy. And take it away, Jess.
Thank you, Sabrina. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in and sharing your time and energy. I am deeply honored and full of gratitude to be here alongside all these other inspiring authors sharing their truth and their voice. It's truly powerful. And also, we are on the 999 portal. So, what a blessing to all come together on this powerful day of completion and transformation. So, I could not be more over the moon about, and I can show it, my shadow work journal. It's stunning. It comes out October 7th, which is so exciting. And I want to start off here by actually talking about how this came to be and the why behind my shadow work journal, because it is so deeply personal to me and such a huge part of my story. And I'm so grateful to Sabrina and to work with her because this came through downloads. It was not planned. It came truly through divine guidance, intuition, and it all came together just kind of out of nowhere, as one would say, but it's all meant to be at this time. And what started the initiation of me personally diving deep into shadow work was severe trauma and emotional pain that I was dealing with and an addiction. And through my sobriety, I dove deep into shadow work, and it changed my entire life. And I want to share that with the world. Part of my purpose, and I know this deep in my bones, is that I'm meant to help others give love to their darkness and turn their pain into power and really come home to themselves. And I'll never forget the moment my spark was turned off and I no longer could look at myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at parts of myself. I was dimming myself. I was truly trying to hide. And what did that do? It made me sick. It made me not who I am. It made me try to conform and morph. And while that happened, I lost myself and I lost the ability to trust and I lost the ability to love with an open heart. And we are here to love. All of us deserve, no matter where we've been and what we've been through, to be loved. And all of us have a purpose. And so that's why I dove deep into shadow work, is because I really wanted to turn this around. I didn't want to pass on my pain anymore. I wanted to turn my pain into power. And that's where this shadow work journal came to be. And I'm gonna get, I get emotional a lot lately. I also have never cried more in the last 2 years, but in a good way, because I was suppressing all that and it needed to come out. And so this was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, is to dive into shadow work and really, look at that side of me because it deserves to be loved too. So what we're gonna do today is I am going to actually read a poem from my journal. And I wrote this poem in the beginning of the shadow work that I was doing and my recovery. And then I'll lead you through a little exercise together. So I'm gonna start off by reading the poem. And yeah, it's just I can't believe I'm sharing this right now and this is out. Okay. So this is at the very beginning of the journal, and it's called the lotus flower. And okay, here we go. To carry the inner child, the grief, the flame, to now love when at one time you learned to shame. The lotus ascends not despite, but throughout the dark, it seeks the light. A paradox in every part, the mud and dirt below the open heart. So unearth, descend, don't turn away. Your truth is born in hues of gray. And when you bloom, you'll understand your roots still hold you. The mud is not the culmination, but the start. The shadow's gift is an overflowing heart. And that couldn't be more true, because me being able to look at those parts of myself and dive into that, it has given me the most overflowing heart. It's so different how my life is since I've done this type of work. It's brought in my manifestations are kind of swirling. Everything's coming in here, and I want to break it down to you through this poem, that there is different parts to really revealing those shadows that are keeping you suppressed. So if anyone's here, feel free to answer. And also anybody on Facebook later on, feel free to message me, because I'm going to take you through a couple questions. Okay, so number one starts with the mud, and that's why I named this poem The Lotus Flower, because we really have to go through the mud to see the light, right? So this is where the original wound lies. So then there's the fear, which is our limiting belief. So it's combined with our core wounds, that where the original wound lies, and our limiting beliefs that we kind of get along the way in life, right? And then there's the integration, the lotus, where the integration and healing happens. So this is, what is the shadow part trying to tell you, right? This is how we integrate. This is how we integrate. So yeah, so we're gonna start here, and then I know there's lots of people here, so you don't have to do it live, but we can do it afterwards. And send me any messages after if you have any questions. So really look at, what is a trait that you are afraid to embody? A trait that you are afraid to embody. Okay. And this is a core wound. This is where the core wound is, looking at this question, a trait you're afraid to embody. So, an example for myself, assertiveness. Feel free to leave a word or a trait you're afraid to embody here as well. I'm going to use assertiveness as the example. So, a trait I'm afraid to embody is assertiveness. This is the core wound, the assertiveness. Now, what is a limiting belief, right? This is where there's the limiting beliefs. So if I'm going to use assertiveness, a limiting belief would be, if I speak up, I'll be abandoned, right? So I'll bring it back to me personally. So my core wound would be assertiveness, but the limiting belief is, if I speak up, I'm going to be abandoned. So now, knowing that, what do we do, right? How do we actually integrate it to make the change and get on this higher consciousness of loving every part of ourselves, so that we are aligned, mind, body, soul, and our nervous system is ready to receive, right? Because we have actually dove into these core wounds and limiting beliefs. So then you can switch these around. So we take the assertiveness and we take the limiting belief of, if I speak up, I'm too much. And then we try to reclaim that through the lotus, the integration. So for example, my voice is not too much, it's my power. And we are retraining that thought pattern. Now we have to dive into it. Obviously, it takes way longer than just on here to dive into the core wound and the limiting beliefs and to integrate that. But that is an example of how you get to the awareness of where they are and how you integrate it. And you can do that by working through it. And that's what this journal is. It's an experience that takes you through prompted journal prompts and gives you that awareness with yourself, right? Of where are these coming from and how do I integrate it to make the change, right? Because we need to actually integrate it. The awareness is key, but it's also the work putting in to change it and change that pattern and change that belief system. So that's where this shadow work journal comes in as an experience, right? Because it's literally not just a journal, it's an experience taking you through from one place to another. By doing this work for myself, I have retrained my brain and my thought pattern and figured out these why I suppress these things. It's usually there's a serious root cause of why we are suppressing these things, and it's holding us back. It's holding us back from our light, from our purpose, from our power, from abundance, from all of these things. And but we have the power to change that narrative, right? So if we look at these traits and then we want to integrate it, that's how we do it, by really getting honest and truthful about who we are, what our wounds are, and not feel ashamed of it. And that's why this is so important to me, because for so long, I was so afraid to share parts of myself. Like, so afraid. I can't even tell you. It kept me stuck for over a decade, to not move forward because of my fear. That's how much this can change your life, because once we have faith that no, we do deserve this, we can do this, we don't have to stay here, we can change this pattern, that's when things start to happen. So was it pretty trying to dive into all these parts of myself? I'll be honest, sometimes not. Of course not. But it was so worth it. I would do it 100 times more to feel how I do now, right? Because I don't want to sit there anymore. I deserve this version of me, and you deserve that version of you. We all deserve to get to this version of ourselves where we are spiritually awakened and we are aware and we are feeling in our power, no matter what we've gone through, no matter where we've been, no matter what our past is. We get to define the future, right? By looking at the present and looking at the past, the shadow, but not in shame, in light, and really carry that with us to the next chapter and retrain our minds, right? So there's lots of space in the journal. I don't want to give too much away, obviously. It's a lot of prompts, but um yeah. Oh, that's
Amazing.
good. Yeah.
Would you share how, like, share a little bit about your story? I know you mentioned addiction and you mentioned a few pieces, but how did shadow work really support that for you? Like, what is shadow work? I think, not to dumb it down for people, because I'm sure a lot of people have experience or they've heard it, but it, I find that there's no clear definition of what shadow work means. Can you share what it means to you? What's your definition if you were to make one up?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I know yeah. So shadow work to me, how I define it is looking at parts of yourself that you're ashamed of and looking at the darker sides of yourself that you try to hide and you don't necessarily show others. And the shadow work's there basically to bring that to the surface. So for me, I know I touched on a few things, but you're right. Like I should go back to that because like looking at just what it is and what it can do, it's because, for example, one part of me that I never wanted to look at, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I just say it all the time now, is that I am an alcoholic, right? And I never wanted to look at that part of myself, that an addiction, I didn't want to look at that part of myself. I literally turned a blind eye even to it all the time. I would never look at it. Another example that I was so ashamed of is when I was in a horrible relationship, I would hide that, right? But when we hide stuff, we're only as sick as our secrets. So shadow work to me is being truthful, like literally being open, honest, and willing to look at yourself for who you are, right? Not the unfiltered, not the filtered, sorry, version of yourself, but the unfiltered version, the you, right? And I, in turn, doing this, I have actually experienced the best connections of my entire life being myself, right? And so I'm so emotional lately, like I'm about to cry, because I'm so happy that I did this, right? I'm so happy that I allowed myself to be who I am, because now that I'm who I am, I feel the best I ever have. And the people I'm surrounded by are who I'm meant to be surrounded by. And so yeah, shadow work to me is being truthful with yourself, looking at all the parts, not just the good.
I love that. And it's so true, and I work with a lot of authors, obviously, as a publisher, and that is the scariest part about sharing your story with the world is being seen for your shadow, being seen in your darkest times, because nobody's writing the books of rainbows and butterflies and gumdrops and honeydew, where there's nothing dark. There's always a shadow. That's where the hero's journey we talk about in the writing world, where you are the heroine of the story, and you go through these deaths and rebirths, and this happens in this circle. And I feel like that's part of what shadow work is, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's this sort of looking at the mirror, looking in the mirror and seeing not just the you version that you love, but also seeing the dark side and being able to go through that journey where there's a death and a rebirth, and you come out the other side. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, that was so beautiful. So correct. And that's such a great explanation of how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
When doing it, it felt like a death and rebirth, right? And that's what it is. And it awakens you to so much. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. Look, having a mirror, right? And
Yeah.
so long I wouldn't look at that mirror. And now that I'm able to, it brings out the beauty and the light in you to share to others. And I really believe that I know that this is the beginning, and I'm all new to all of this. But I'm so sure that this is my purpose to lean into shadow work and use it to help others, because it's almost impossible to explain the depth of transformation it initiated in me, and my family, and my abundance, and the way I feel and everything, right? So it's like I feel grateful to help others, and my why truly, like from my heart, is to help other people get out of this like deep emotional pain that they're in and turn it into power, because everybody deserves that. It's their birthright, right? Everybody deserves to speak their truth, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is, your truth is yours, and once you can be free of it, everything changes. And there's another thing that you said that really stuck to me, because I feel like a lot of people stay stuck because they are afraid to be seen, is what you said. And that is a main thing in shadow work that I had to dive into. I was so afraid to be seen or to be exposed. Whereas now I just exposed everything myself, right? Like I exposed myself. And how liberating to expose yourself, right? It's not our faults what happened to us, but it is our responsibility to change it, right? We're not, if we can change anything, literally we can. And like this type of work is proof of it.
I love that. And I love our story too, because when you came to me, you actually came to me to work together as your coach and PR strategist. You wanted
Yes.
more visibility. You knew that you wanted to be seen and that you wanted your voice to be heard, but you didn't know where to start. You had no idea. You're like, do I start doing writing articles, or do I, go on TV, or how do I just have like a strong social media? Like, what do I do? And how do I do this? And that's where the co-creation began. And this shadow work journey was birthed through that process of your own work and your own visibility wounds and fears, and just the transformation that I've witnessed in you over these past, what? I think we figured out we started working together in January.
January, January. It's already
Yeah.
September.
It's crazy. So 9 months, go
Oh,
figure.
9 months, yeah.
Nine is the theme of today. 9 months. 9 months is how long the gestation period of a baby. 9 months.
Literally.
It's the ninth month of the year. We're both September babies too,
We're
aren't we?
both, yep,
We're
yes,
both
we're both
Virgos and September
Virgos.
babies. So
Yes.
99999 all over the place. So there is something really magical about this. And I wanted to come on here and just tell you how proud I am of everything that you've done to witness where you were. And if people are just meeting you, Jessica, for the very first time ever, and have nothing to compare it to and nothing to have seen of your work previous to this, the transformation is otherworldly. Like you are a different person than the person that I met. You are glowing. Your heart is on the outside of your body, and that might sound like a
I'm
gross
crying.
visual, but it's a beautiful visual. You are the kindest, sweetest, most genuine person I possibly have ever met. So I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for putting this work into the world and for sharing you with the world, because you do deserve to be seen and heard. And by showing up with the courage and bravery that you are, it's going to help so many people. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Truly, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that it's noticeable for others because I personally notice it for myself. So I'm like really happy about it. And I'm so happy to be of service to other people. Like I do think I'm meant to be of service for others and in their journey and walk them through. And, higher power, source, God, and whatever you want to call it, pulled me out of the pit for a reason. And I'm not going to waste it. And
No.
that's why I know I can't believe this truly came through us working together in 9 months.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Meant to
obviously
be.
being a publisher, books are my jam, but it wasn't a book. It wasn't a full book. That's where the journal came from. It's like you are here to walk people through this, not only by sharing your story, that's part of it. That's just a piece of it, but by having people share their story with you. And the best way to do that was this invitation. That's what the Shadow Work Journal is. It's an invitation not into your world, which is what a lot of our books are. It's what my book is. It's what, Jacqueline, the people who have spoke today about their memoirs, Ria, that's an invitation to their world, into the lens in which we view the world. But yours is an invitation into themselves. And there's something
Literally.
so powerful about that. So Jessica's Shadow Work Journal will be available October 7th is her release day, which also happens to be a full moon.
Yes, I know.
Wasn't originally planned, but we're definitely leaning into that energy for sure. And I can't wait to release this work into the world. But you have a lot of other things going on. So why don't you share a little bit about that? And I will post links in the Facebook group as well, for people to join you on this next venture that you have going.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much I love talking to you. And thank you again, Sabrina and the whole team. It's the best experience of ever, 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 ever. And so meant to be. Thank you. This is a big, big part of my story. And so, yes, I definitely am going to be diving into working through shadow work. That's what my main thing is going to be coming up. So I'm launching a shadow work intensive mastermind. I can't believe it. And it's starting October 15th. And this is the first ever mastermind for the shadow work. So it's the very first one. So right now it's definitely lower ticket pricing, then it will definitely go up. But for the first one, I want to offer a good price and get those in for it. And it's 30 days, like I said. And so 4 weeks, we meet every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for an hour to 11. I think Sabrina can share the link in the chat. And yeah, that's what's coming up with the Shadow Work Intensive Mastermind, my very first ever one, but I feel so good about it. Like the most aligned I've ever felt to do this, and that is actually going to be my main focus. I'm going in flow and just focusing on this shadow work journal for the rest of the year. Literally, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to go all just that, Sabrina, just the intensive masterminds coming up. I
Amazing.
always offer one-on-one coaching, but that is the offer I wanted to put out today for sure. So yeah, thank you for that.
Amazing. Well, I just posted the link in on Zoom, but I'll also post it in the Facebook group. So if anyone wants to do that and join Jessica, join forces and your own shadow work, I highly recommend it. It's a very powerful process that I've been able to be both the client and the mentor through watching her grow this process, and it's incredible. So definitely go sign up for that. Make sure that you're staying in touch around the Shadow Work Journal release on Amazon on October 7th. We'll be posting in the Facebook group, we'll be posting all kinds of links and countdowns and giveaways and fun things. My goal with this group, with this space, with Heart of the Author is to really keep everyone engaged for the next 3 months of the year until the end of this calendar year as we move into 2026. And then there'll be another form of this, I'm sure, in the spring that we launch. But I really want to showcase the art and heart of these artists, authors, thought leaders, incredible mentors and coaches in this space. And Jessica, you are just one of many in this powerful container. So thank you for sharing your art with the world. Thank you for sharing your heart more so with the world, and just for being here and trusting me and my team on this journey and trusting the process, trusting yourself, really, truly.
Thank you.
When
Truly
you came
full
to me
trust.
for PR and here we are publishing your book, like it's woo. It's the same
Yeah.
with Krista sharing that she was like publishing a children's book, and then here we are publishing this masterpiece of a poetry book. Like it's incredible. And I'll talk about this on the closing ceremony at 9 p.m. tonight. The main theme of today that I'm recognizing has been this divine trust, the surrender piece of just sort of, this is our art, this is our heart, letting it flow through us, even when it feels weird or when it doesn't, when we're not sure what we're doing most of the time. We're like, what is this? And
Just
then it happens. Yeah,
trusting. I literally have trust alongside the wall there, right above you. It says trust, because that is what it is. And I trust you fully. I trust your whole team. This whole process was amazing. I am so honored about there's 9 of us today, like to be alongside all these women and to purchase their book. And yeah, if anybody wants to chat further about this, please send me a DM. I love connecting with everybody. And sharing and just catching up and talking. And then if you're interested, of course, the link is in the all of the things that Sabrina put it in. So yeah, thank you.
amazing. Thank you. Thanks for being here today. Is there anything you want to leave listeners with?
Truly, what you said, I really want to leave listeners with the message to trust yourself. Just trust yourself. Nothing is better than trusting yourself and trusting the process, and that everything is working out to you. Everything is working out for you. And also the gratitude. I know it's cliche, but just that being thankful for where we already are, because you don't know where you're going, right? That's where the trust comes. And just know that no matter where you've been, you can go anywhere. Literally. That's what I want to leave them with. And I hope that that really resonates, and I hope people hear it. I hope it helps even one person on all out of all the people here, to trust themselves and really know that anything is possible.
So true.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Thank you.